On a cold night in March 2004, a 17-year-old girl named Brianna Maitland vanished without a trace after leaving her job at a rural inn in Vermont. Her car was found the next day, backed into an abandoned house, with some of her belongings inside, but there was no sign of Brianna or of what had happened to her. This is the story of a chilling and mysterious disappearance that has baffled investigators and haunted a family for over 17 years. A story of a young and independent woman who had a bright future ahead of her. A story of a complex and troubled town where drugs, violence, and secrets lurked beneath the surface. A story of a frustrating and fruitless search for answers that has left more questions than clues. Brianna Maitland was born on October 8, 1986 in Burlington, Vermont, to Bruce and Kelly Maitland. She grew up on a farm in East Franklin, near the Canadian border, with her older brother. She was a smart and friendly student who excelled in school and loved to read and write. She was also adventurous and outgoing, always eager to make new friends and try new things. Brianna had big dreams for her future. She wanted to travel the world, study different cultures, and become a teacher or a journalist. She had a passion for learning and a curiosity for life. She was not afraid to take risks and challenge herself. In October 2003, Brianna decided to move out of her parents' farm and live with some friends in a nearby town. She wanted more independence and freedom, and to be closer to her social circle. She enrolled in a different high school but soon dropped out and got her GED instead. She also got a driver's license and bought a car, a 1985 Oldsmobile, with her own money. Brianna worked as a dishwasher at the Black Lantern Inn, a cozy and historic restaurant in Montgomery, Vermont. She enjoyed her job and got along well with her co-workers and customers. She also had plans to attend college in the fall and pursue her interests. On March 19, 2004, Brianna finished her shift at the inn around 11:20 p.m. She said goodbye to her co-workers and got into her car. She was supposed to go to a friend's house where she was staying, but she never made it there. She never contacted anyone again. She simply disappeared. The next day, a state trooper found Brianna's car on Route 118, about a mile away from the inn. The car was backed into the side of an old and dilapidated house, known as the Dutchburn House, which had been vacant for years. The car's rear end was partially inside the house, as if it had crashed into it. The car's doors were locked and the keys were missing. Some of Brianna's belongings, such as her ATM card, her glasses, and some clothing, were scattered inside and outside the car, but there was no blood, no signs of a struggle, and no trace of Brianna. The trooper assumed that the car had been involved in a hit-and-run accident and that the driver had fled the scene. He did not connect the car to Brianna, who had not been reported missing yet. He left a note on the car, asking the owner to contact the police, and towed the car to a local garage. Meanwhile, Brianna's friends and family had no idea that she was missing. They assumed that she was busy with work or with other friends and that she would contact them soon. They did not know that her car had been found or that something terrible had happened to her. It was not until several days later, when Brianna's parents realized that they had not heard from her in a while, that they became worried. They called her friends, her employer, and the police, and learned that her car had been found abandoned. They also learned that no one had seen or heard from Brianna since the night she left the inn. They reported her missing, and the police launched a full-scale investigation. They searched the area where her car was found, using dogs, helicopters, and volunteers. They interviewed hundreds of people, including Brianna's friends, co-workers, acquaintances, and anyone who might have seen her or her car that night. They followed up on numerous tips and leads, some of which were bizarre, contradictory, or unreliable. Some of the tips suggested that Brianna had run away from home or that she had gone to another state or country. Some suggested that she had been involved in drugs or that she had owed money to someone. Some suggested that she had been abducted by a stranger or by someone she knew. Some suggested that she had been killed or that she was still alive. One of the most intriguing and disturbing tips came from a woman who claimed that she had seen Brianna being held captive in a house in nearby Richford, Vermont, by a group of local drug dealers. The woman said that she had been in the house herself and that she had witnessed Brianna being abused and tortured. She said that she had escaped, but that Brianna was still there. The police raided the house, but found no evidence of Brianna or any crime. They arrested some of the occupants for drug-related charges, but none of them admitted to having any involvement in Brianna's disappearance. The woman who had given the tip was later found to be mentally unstable and unreliable. Another tip that sparked interest came from a security guard at a casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, who claimed that he had seen Brianna there in 2006, 2 years after she vanished. He said that he had recognized her from a missing person flyer and that he had approached her and asked her if she was Brianna. He said that she had denied it and that she had quickly left with a man. The police obtained the surveillance footage from the casino and compared it to Brianna's photos. They could not conclusively identify the woman as Brianna, but they could not rule her out either. They tried to track down the woman and the man, but they had no luck. They also could not find any evidence that Brianna had ever been to Atlantic City or that she had any connection to the area. The police also looked into a possible link between Brianna's disappearance and a serial killer named Israel Keyes, who had committed numerous murders and kidnappings across the United States, including in Vermont and New York. Keyes had confessed to some of his crimes before killing himself in prison in 2012, but he had not mentioned Brianna or any other specific victims. The FBI ruled out Keyes as a suspect in Brianna's case, but they did not disclose their reasons. The police have never named any suspects or persons of interest in Brianna's disappearance, but they have not ruled out anyone either. They have said that they believe that Brianna was a victim of foul play and that someone knows what happened to her. They have also said that they have some evidence that they have not made public and that they are still working on the case. Brianna's family and friends have never given up hope of finding her or of getting justice for her. They have held vigils, distributed flyers, and appealed to the public for help. They have also offered a reward of $20,000 for any information that leads to Brianna's whereabouts or to the arrest of the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. Brianna's disappearance remains one of the most chilling and mysterious cases in Vermont's history. It is a story that raises many questions but offers few answers. It is a story that haunts a town and a family to this day. It is a story that deserves to be told.